The key to understanding a future institutional or governance structure in urban planning, or city building as I prefer to call it, is to understand some of the objectives that you may wish to achieve. And so, for example, one of those objectives would be to reduce the price of land. Another objective would be to ensure that you've got sufficient infrastructure. Another objective would be to understand traffic congestion and how those impacts might occur. And another objective might be to keep people extremely healthy. In other words, how do we actually really integrate cycling into our lives and walking and walkability? The issue that we have at the moment is that we have no isolated policy. So a good example would be there is no objective in any Planning and Environment Act in Australia that actually mandates that land prices should be kept low. They simply say supply land. What we need to do is we need to change that. We need to implement policies, for example, which mandate low-priced land and low-priced housing. Now, can that be done? Of course it can be done. Why hasn't it been done? It's only because there's been a lack of aspiration around the importance of these kinds of outcomes. And what's happened post-war is that market structures have changed dramatically in Australia from very fragmented building and land development to quite corporatised building and development. So we're in a situation now where in many cases there's monopoly impacts in marketplaces, oligopoly impacts, and that together with the regulatory frameworks that we've got, which tend to make it very difficult to build apartment buildings, very difficult to subdivide land, very difficult to achieve environmental approvals. All of these things increase land prices because there are no mandated components in any of the legislation which say that all of those things are good, but only if the price of land and the price of housing is kept affordable for individuals. So my book really canvasses setting those objectives and then asking the questions about what kinds of institutional frameworks would you need to put in place to achieve those kinds of outcomes.